Hey guys, welcome back to another series of scripting, and today we're going to be starting a new series. Basically, this series is going to be a slap battles series, like how to make a game like slap battles. I've seen a lot of these, well, not a lot actually. I've seen a couple of videos going around, and I just wanted to make my own series on this, and I had the idea in my mind for a while, so I just kind of wanted to get it here. So I wanted to get out there. So we're just gonna jump straight into it. First of all, there's a model in the description for the glove template, so it should be in your models under the inventory tab right here in the toolbox. And then once you take it out, it should look like this. And it doesn't have any scripts or anything in it, but it does have everything ready to go. It has the slap sound. It has the welding for the hand and the handle, and it's got a animation player ready to go, but it does not have an animation in it. So I'll show you guys how to add that in just a second. But yeah, so it's ready to go, but we're gonna go ahead and take so first of all, how to make your animation. You're gonna go into plugins here at the top. You're gonna click on rig builder. I have a lot of extra plugins. You guys won't have these, or maybe you will, but just find the one that says rig builder and then click on this. And then this is compatible with both, I'm sure. So R15 or R6 works, but I'm gonna go with R6 because that's what slap battles is, I'm pretty sure. And so yeah, this right here. Then what you have to do is go back into plugins, click on animations, and then click on this. This will bring up the animation editor, and then you can click on any dummy. I'm gonna do this one because this is the one we spawned in. And then you can just click create, or you can name it if you want, but it doesn't really matter to me. And then since I've already made one, you can make one, like move his arm around and everything, and it'll be like different keyframes. If you don't know how to animate in Roblox, I suggest going and watching a video on that real quick. But it's basically just moving parts around to make stuff work. So like that's the first thing, and then this is the second thing, and then this is the third thing, you know, so it'll look like this. Obviously that's not a great one. Maybe a little more that way. But yeah. But I don't know. Basically, I'm just gonna, since I've already made one, if you already have one, then all you have to do is go import from Roblox, or what, I don't know what that is. So if you did that, then I'm just gonna delete that one, and then I just click slap because it's the one that I had before, and then I submit it, and this is mine. So this is what it'll show up as. And make sure that your animation priority is set to action. Please, please, please make sure that it's set to action, or else it'll look weird when you're trying to put it in the game. So now that it's set to that, it should look like the slap battle slap a little, or whatever you put it as. And then all you have to do is just publish to Roblox, and then you just put the title, whatever description, and then the creator. And then once you click submit, there will be a little ID, and then it'll have a little copy button next to it. You can just click the copy button. It should look like two boxes next to each other. Now that we have our ID, all we have to do, we can delete that guy now. Go back into our glove, click on the slap anim, and then just control V, paste into the animation ID property, and it should show up in there for you. So that's the animation ID that we need. And now we'll move on to scripting the glove, because the glove needs to be scripted for any of this to even work. So we're just gonna make a new server script, and then obviously delete what's already inside of it. That's useless to us because it's literally just gonna print something out. And then we're gonna start scripting. So we're gonna just, first of all, we need a cooldown. So local cooldown equals 0.7. This is gonna be useful for the cooldown for how long it takes. You can configure it, but that's the one I'm gonna do. Activated equals the false. These are just like little cooldown things. You don't do the false, slapped, here's the false. Pretty sure one of these we don't even need. Local slap anim, this is gonna come in handy in just a second. Script up parent.equip, this is gonna detect if we equipped the glove or not, this one. And script up parent is the script's parent, which is the glove. And then we're gonna do slap anim equals script dot parent dot parent dot slap, dot humanoid, sorry. Load animation like this. And then you're gonna do script dot parent dot slap anim, and that's just gonna load the animation into the humanoid so it's ready to go when we need it. That's literally all you need right there. I'm gonna do script dot parent dot activated connect function. This is just gonna activate, or it's gonna detect when the glove gets clicked, like when it while it's equipped. So we're gonna do if activated equals equal to false and debounce equals equal to false. Then this is just making sure that none of our cooldowns are doing stuff, and then we'll do debounce equals to true, and then activated equals to true, and then we'll just play our slap anim. So play. And then we'll just wait 0.3, and then we'll do activated equals to false, and we're gonna wait the cooldown time, but we're gonna minus it by 0.3. Also, I'm gonna zoom in for you guys. We're gonna minus it by 0.3. Basically, this is just taking this away from it, so this doesn't interfere with the actual cooldown time we want. Then we're gonna do after we wait the cooldown minus 0.3, we're gonna do slap slapped equals false, and debounce equals false. And so that's all you need for the activated thing. This is just gonna come in handy for when the hand is touched. So script.parent.hand, which is the hand part inside of it. That's pretty much our hitbox. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do dot touched. This is gonna detect when it's touched and then connect it to a function, and then hit is our parameter so we can detect what hit it. And we're gonna do if activated equals to true, and slapped equals to false, and hit dot parent find first child humanoid and hit dot parent doesn't equal to script dot parent. This is just gonna, and then we gotta do then. Yeah, so this is just, so basically what this entire line does, it checks if activated is true, making sure that the player actually activated the tool before it just is able to touch anything. So we can actually register the slap, and we're gonna make sure that the target isn't already slapped the enemy, and then we're gonna say hit the parent find first child humanoid because we don't want it to slap a wall or something. And then we're gonna make sure that just in case I doubt it'll happen, but just in case, we're gonna make sure that the hit parent doesn't equal to our player, so we don't accidentally slap ourselves into oblivion. But yeah, so we're just gonna make sure that that's not happening, just in case, just to be safe. So now we're gonna do slapped equals to true, to make sure that the enemy actually gets slapped, and then we're gonna do script.parent.hand.slap, and then we're gonna play that sound. That's the sound that plays. And we're gonna do hit.parent.humanoid.sit. Because the truth is gonna sit the enemy, so they can't move for a second, and then local velocity equals instance.new. Body velocity, we're gonna start making the forces, the vector forces, so we can actually, we got to parent that. Anyways, so this is gonna, we're adding the velocity and everything now. All of the vector forces. Velocity dot max force equals a vector 3 dot new, and then we're just gonna do like 3 through 3 or something like that. And then we're gonna multiply that by math.huge. That just is basically what that's doing is the max force is a property instead of the body velocity, and it's making sure that it'll change it to this. This is a vector thing, and this is like a vector 3 value. And this is just gonna launch the player like up and around, and that's like that's the maximum force that you can do. And we're just multiplying this by math.huge. Math.huge is basically infinite, and the reason why we're multiplying it by that is to make sure that so that the player can actually like be launched pretty far, but not too far. So then we're gonna make another variable called local dir or direction. And then we're just gonna put that in parameters. And we're gonna hit dot parent dot humanoid root part dot c frame dot position. We're gonna do minus script dot parent dot parents, because we're trying to get our humanoid root part, and this is just gonna get our C frame and position as well. Our C frame position, and then we're gonna do something called dot unit. I'll explain what that is in a minute. And then we're gonna do velocity dot velocity equals 2, and then we're gonna put these in parameters 2 plus vector 3. So the direction plus vector 3 dot new. We're just gonna do 2. That's launching us up, by the way. That unit has something to do with numbers. If you're confused on it, it's on the Roblox API, I'm sure. So I'll probably link that, or you can just go look up Roblox API actually and look it up on the search bar. I'm not gonna explain it right now so we can get through this, but then we're gonna do local rot or rotation instance.new body angular velocity. This is what's gonna send us in circles, or send the enemy in circles, and then we're gonna parent that to the humanoid part of the enemy as well. And then we're gonna do rot dot angular velocity dot equals to vector 3 dot new, and then we're gonna do 1, and then we're gonna multiply this by math.pi, and then we're gonna times that by 2. Basically, math.pi, if you don't know what pi is, if you haven't already taken that math class or something, I'm sure most of you already know what pi is, but it's around 3.14 decimal point integer, or well, decimal point. And we're just, so for the angular velocity, we're sending them in circles 1 1 1. Math.pi is just gonna get that number, and then this is like how many, this is how many circles you kind of want them to go in. That's why we're using math.pi to calculate that. So this is how many circles you'll send the player flying in. And then we're gonna do rotation.max torque. This is kind of like a car, but then we're gonna do 2 2 2 vector 3, and then we're gonna do times math dot huge again, and then rotation.p equals to 5,000. That's just gonna, if you don't know what p is, you can look all this up on the Roblox API if you don't understand it. And then we're gonna do get service debris, add item. The reason why I'm not doing like weight 0.5 to remove this stuff is because, just in case, worst case scenario, your glove gets removed, or like the player dies right as like the enemy's being launched, they'll continue to be launched if this doesn't get removed in time. So we're just gonna, the debris service is basically a way of just removing, like having a scheduled wait time to remove something from the game. So all you have to do is add item, which is going to be velocity in this case, and then set a set a scheduled wait time in seconds, so 0.3 seconds. And then we're just going to copy this and paste it down there, and then this one's for the rotation. And then we're just going to wait 0.3, and then hit parent dot humanoid dot sit equals to false. This is just going to make sure that the humanoid doesn't sit anymore. This is not as big of a deal, because they can just jump. The humanoid can still just jump anyway. So even if the glove does disappear, this is not going to be a big enough problem to worry about. It's really not a problem at all, to be honest. So yeah. Anyways, that's the glove made. So now if we go into the game and test it out, so just take your glove now and drag it into starter pack, and then you can just click play here or whatever next to like a dummy. And if I take it out, as you can see, I can't slap him yet until I actually click, and clicking looks like this. As you can see, our animation worked. And then if you walk up to him and you click, oh, you have a problem. I must have done something wrong. Hang on. Hey guys, my bad. I was pretty stupid. I forgot to put .new right here. Please do this on line 33. Put .new next to vector3 or it will not work. You can't just put vector3 by itself. So now, if you play the game, and also you can close your output now because I know it will have no issues. Now, glove, take it out. It can't slap. When you click, it will slap, as you can see. And you can make them. You can obviously make them launch a lot further than what I just launched them at. To make them launch further, first of all, I'm gonna make yeah, so max torque, we don't need rotation. Velocity, you can just, I'm gonna make this like 8. I'm just gonna make this all 8. I don't know, you guys can just kind of play around with it as much as you want, to kind of figure out what works for you. But once you found the values that work for you, it should look a little more something with what you want. Anyways, guys, I decided to remove the sit thing down here where it disables it, because the player can just sit up by itself. It can change this to false by just jumping. So I decided to leave that alone and not do anything because it was a little buggy as well. But yeah, so that's basically the glove made. Yeah, and like I said, you can mess around with these numbers as much as you want. Just don't break the script. So now we're gonna do leader stats to show how many slaps you have. So we're just gonna do, this is gonna be super simple. Literally, it's like I don't even know, like 6 lines of code, 5. So basically we're just gonna check when a player joins the game. And then we're going, oops, sorry, put player in those parameters. And then we're gonna do local folder, and we're gonna get a new instance of a folder, and we're gonna shove it inside the player, and then folder.name equals to stats. And then we're gonna do local value equals instance.new integer value. We're gonna stick, oops, we're gonna stick that inside the folder. And then we're gonna rename, oops, and we're gonna rename this to slaps. So now stats.slaps, that's gonna get our slaps right here. This is the simple leader stats. We'll add saving later with a cool module called data store 2. You can go read up on it if you want. But for right now, we're just gonna leave it like this. We're not gonna add any saving yet. It's gonna be super simple. And then we're gonna go ahead and insert any screen GUI. I'm gonna name this main so we can put everything in it. And we're just gonna make a little, actually I'm just gonna put a text label in here and customize it a little bit. And of course, as always, the trick, it's obviously not the best, but it works. It works for the text labels the best. Anyways, and then you can just like display your slaps down here. Anyways, yeah, so something like that. And then we will make the border bigger like that. Yeah, and then I'm also gonna put a image label inside of it. And I'm gonna do the same thing. And then I'm going to resize it up to even. And then I'm gonna look for, the glove icon. See if I can actually find it. Anyways, well, I did find this one. So, you just get one of these and make sure your background, there we go. So this is just gonna basically display how many slaps you have. But yeah, not too terrible, but also not great. And I'm also gonna put a aspect ratio constraint. This is just gonna make sure that it's the same size on all devices for the image. So if I'm on an iPhone 7 Plus, it's gonna stay the same. If I'm on like an iPad 2, it'll stay the same. So yeah. Anyways, so we're just gonna name this lap counter, I guess. And then we're gonna put a new local script inside of it. And then we're gonna do local player equals game dot players dot local player, and then we're gonna do local slaps equals player wait for child stats. Okay, actually we're gonna do stats first. And then we're gonna do oops, no we're not. Actually we're just gonna do dot slaps because it'll load it all in. Anyways. And then we're gonna do dot value. And we're gonna do slaps. Oh, and actually don't do dot value because we're gonna do slaps get property changed signal, and then we're gonna do value there, and then we're gonna connect that to a function. And then once that's connected to the function, we're gonna do script.parent.text label, or yeah, .text, and then we're gonna just do equal, and then we're just gonna do slaps.value. And that should hopefully be good. And then and we're not done yet with that because we have to go back into our glove and make sure that it adds every time. So we're gonna do every time they slap someone, we're gonna do game.players get player from character, and then we're gonna do script.parent.parent. That's just getting the player from the character, and then we're gonna do we're gonna do local player, and then we're gonna do player.slaps, or no, player.stats.slaps dot value, and then we're gonna do plus equals to 1, so that's just gonna add 1 to the value every time. And so now if we play the game, hopefully it should work. Make sure we have no errors yet, and then if we walk up to it and we slap it, yeah, as you can see, 1 slap gets added to our count, and the dummy won't get up because I turned that off. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, you can just farm slaps with this guy now, but it keeps counting up every time I get a new slap. So yeah, every time I slap him, it's going up by 1, so I have 20 slaps now, as you can see. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this tutorial. It's pretty short, but it's not done yet. Obviously, we've got a bunch more parts coming, but this is it so far. Pretty simple, even though for some reason I took this long to do it. But I just want to make sure that you guys understand everything and that I explain everything pretty thoroughly to you guys in case you actually want to learn, or you just take it for no reason. But yeah. So I hope this really helped you guys, and hopefully you guys can make your own game by the end of these tutorials. And yeah, part 2 should be coming soon. I'll put it in the pinned comment when it's out, and make sure to like and subscribe if you think this helped, and I'll see you guys later.